If you're trying to speed up your WordPress website, you've probably heard of WP Rocket, Cloudflare, and Nitro. They're three companies that make speed optimization software/plugins for WordPress websites, right? I wanted to test them all out and see just how well they did on my website, right? The local business website that you see right here. It gets about 10,000 visitors a month, but that's irrelevant for this because I tested it out on a dev site. The important thing is that it's not a pre-optimized kind of theme or template. This thing is incredibly bloated. So I wanted to figure out how these service providers do at optimizing this website. And I'm going to test, or I have tested, I'm going to share the results with you, their full stack using all of their optimization settings. So first though, let me kind of break down the factors that go into WordPress speed optimization. First and foremost is hosting. We'll come back to that in a second. Then there's image optimization, that is getting the right size images on the page and compressing the images that you have. There's caching, right? So serving a cached copy of the website. This is kind of like making a photocopy that the server displays as opposed to going in and making queries through the database. And then CDN, content delivery networks. These are the three main things that the softwares that I'm talking about right now do. Now, there's a couple other things, or one other thing. There's script optimization. This has to do with limiting the pages that scripts load on. For example, Contact Form 7 is a script or a plugin for your WordPress site that will load on every single page. And this can slow you down. And, you might want to isolate that script to just the page where the contact form is actually needed. And if you've got contact forms, say in the footer of every page of your website, maybe remove it from there and then direct everyone back to a page. That's something else that I'm not covering in this video. Now, before we get into these three, I do want to talk about hosting, because hosting is probably the single biggest factor behind page speed. Anything else is like putting lipstick on a pig. Trying to optimize a site that's on a slow host is literally just like putting lipstick on a pig. I recommend Cloudways. There are some other good fast hosts out there, but Cloudways is a VPS cloud hosting provider that lets you pick from a few different providers. So I'm using Cloudways, and for my sites, we'll go to pricing here. I'm using Vulture High Frequency right here, which is $13 a month. And this is pretty much the fastest that I've found out there. Their DigitalOcean is good. I mean, all of these providers that they have right here are pretty good. Vulture is the best, in my opinion, among these multiple tests. Different tests will show you different results, but Vulture is pretty much consistently the fastest. And $13 a month is what this dev site and the test site is on. And the live site, even the live site that gets $10 or that gets 10,000 visitors per month. So, keep that in mind. You're not going to get anywhere, or I'm not going to say you're not going to get anywhere with page speed, but you're largely treading water and putting lipstick on a pig if you're trying to enhance your page speed and you're doing so on shitty hosting, right? So let's go on from here. We know what factors we're going to be looking for. Let's talk about WP Rocket. WP Rocket in and of itself is a caching plugin. And it costs $50 a year for one site, different pricing for more sites. I actually got it on Black Friday and I got like unlimited sites for $25. But it's an awesome caching plugin. Now, WP Rocket has a couple other things that they can bundle with it, or they make it with the same company. The same company that's behind WP Rocket makes other programs or other softwares that are all designed to work together. So when I'm saying stack, I'm testing the full WP Rocket stack, which includes Imagify, so using Imagify for image optimization, and then their Rocket CDN, which I don't think it mentions anything here, but if we dig around their website somewhere, it will mention CDN. I don't see it, but WP Rocket does have a CDN, right? So we're checking all the boxes, these three boxes here with WP Rocket. So I test the WP Rocket stack. Then I go in and I test Cloudflare Pro. Now, Cloudflare Pro has their own WordPress plugin. You can get the WordPress plugin separately for $5 a month. If you get the Pro plan, it's included at $20 a month. That plugin does all the image optimization, it does caching, and then you also get the Cloudflare CDN as well. And finally, there's Nitro. Now, Nitro is the most expensive option, I believe, of all of them. If you're paying for Cloudflare, WP Rocket, and then the CDN, this is annually, and then the CDN is not much. It's like $7 a month, and Imagify is like $7 a month, right? So let's just say you're at $15 to $20 a month. It's maybe a couple dollars cheaper than the Cloudflare at $20 a month. And then Nitro Pack kind of goes up here. If you bill it to monthly, right here you're at $21 a month. So I guess they're really all three about the same. None of these are really breaking the bank or really costing much more than the other, unless with Nitro Pack you're starting to get very high page views. But on that site that you see in there, my local business website, will be within the 50,000 page views a month. I'm pretty sure of that. I'm trying to do the math in my head, but yeah, we should be within that 50,000 page views a month there by a little bit. So we'll be within that, and that's what the price would be there. Now, Nitro Pack has its own caching system. It has its own CDN built into it. It's meant to just be a plug and play and, go, right? Like, so no doing anything. Now, if you need support, they've got support and they'll help you, which I had to use, and I will talk about that as we go through it. So now that you know what we're comparing and the programs, WP Rocket, Cloudflare Pro, and I should say WP Rocket's full stack, Cloudflare Pro, which is going to include their CDN and the plugin, and then Nitro Pack, let's jump into the results here. So this is what's going to be important. This is what we're all here to see. And I'm going to open this up. All right. So I've got screenshots and GT metrics. And well, that opened on another screen. And also page speed insights. I'm most concerned with page speed insights. This is Google's tool. It outlines the core web vitals, which are largest contentful paint, cumulative layout shift, and at the moment I'm drawing a blank on what the other one is. But these are what Google's largely looking for in their upcoming core web vitals. I should select this one too. We'll just select all these, right? So we're looking to enhance these particularly on mobile, which is what this is. GT Metrics only runs on desktop, and it's fairly easy to get a high score on desktop. So I'm mostly concerned with mobile. So here is the site in a dev environment, raw. We're getting a 45, on our page speed score. Where's our GT Metrics? Our LCP there at 10.5, GT Metrics getting us a fully loaded time at 2.6. So if we go on from here, next up, I installed WP Rocket. Just WP Rocket. This is not using the CDN. That's what I'm going to show you next. And you'll see it took our page speed score up quite a bit on mobile and also really lowered these times right here. So that was a noticeable improvement going to the WP Rocket caching only plugin. So at this point, we had not optimized, I had optimized the images at this point. I had optimized the images, so it was using image optimization and caching, but no CDN. And the numbers right here, you can see obviously made a pretty good improvement. Now, if we go to the next image, the next record, I should say, right here, at this point, I've enabled the Rocket CDN, the Rocket Content Delivery Network. Now, the page speed overall score stays about the same, but you can see our LCP has just gone up quite a bit. So everything stayed about the same, but LCP actually went up when we used the CDN. And that's something that's kind of important to take away, because a lot of people talk about CDN being this kind of godsend thing. Like, you need to use a CDN and make your site go faster. As you'll see from other test results here, CDN doesn't actually make your website go faster unless the user is far away from the server and where it's located. So my server's in Miami, and I'm only maybe about in radial distance, like 75 or 80 miles from Miami. So I'm not very far from the server location. So using the CDN here is slowing me down. And I say that, but wherever this Google test server is from is really what matters. And it's still, probably on the East Coast of the United States, I'd guess, to get these numbers. But the big thing to take away is, CDN really didn't make a huge difference here. All right, so now let me show you guys what things look like with Cloudflare. So in this screenshot, you'll see with Cloudflare Pro installed and then the Cloudflare CDN. And here you can see we've got a little bit higher on the page speed score, but our LCP is now down at its record lowest time. So there it is, with just caching and image optimization from WP Rocket. And we see what it is in the very beginning, 10.5, right? WP Rocket's caching and image optimization does a pretty good number on it, better than their CDN did, which also had the caching. The CDN just slowed it down. But Cloudflare Pro and their WP plugin and the CDN doing pretty good here, right? So it's moving us up a little bit. The only thing that's kind of important to note, I was going to point out, not on that one. Here we go. Cloudflare Pro improved the LCP and improved the overall page speed score, but our speed index and first contentful paint went down. So, it's kind of like a trade-off here, a trade-off there type of thing. But I guess, we could say overall a little bit better. If we go into GT metrics, we'll see Cloudflare Pro's optimization settings right there, and then we'll see the WP Rocket CDN. They're basically doing about the same. WP Rocket getting a higher score, a little faster time. Cloudflare Pro, improving things here. But still, no noticeable difference over just doing a caching plugin and image optimization through WP Rocket. All right, now let's go to NitroPack. And I'm going to open up NitroPack. And actually, before I show you the numbers on NitroPack, I want to kind of talk a little bit about what I had to do to get this to happen, which I didn't really have to do much, but I did have to go through support. At first, when we would load this thing on NitroPack, the GT metrics total load time was very long, and it would also leave this menu like this when things were expanding. I had to, at first, I didn't know what to do about this, so I contacted support. And then support was able to make some changes to where it loads properly. And here we'll see it right here. Boom. And we'll look at these numbers. And these numbers are the best of any of the stacks that I'm testing. You can see it. We're getting our first contentful paint. The speed index down there at 3.2 and then 3.7 on the LCP. We'll compare that to Cloudflare. Here's Cloudflare. Let me see if I can get these side by side. There's Cloudflare, and you can see the noticeable difference between FCP, speed index, and LCP, with NitroPack really helping out here. Now, time to interactive did slow down. Basically went up by probably about a third or so, a little bit more than a third. Same thing for the total blocking time. So it's kind of like each one of these programs kind of enhances one metric, but takes away from the others. Overall, I think NitroPack did the best job. And then in GT metrics, let's just see what that was. We got a 1.1. Let's see what the fastest overall LCP was in GT metrics. And also fully loaded time. I think the fastest fully loaded time by GT metrics was just WP Rocket with the cache and the image optimization. Look at that, 1.0 seconds. 1.2 for the Rocket CDN. Cloudflare at 1.3, yeah. So overall, not a huge difference, but on NitroPack, while it did do well in the Google page speed insights, it slowed down the overall fully load time. So, that's kind of that's an overview there of the results and what I got when I tested this site on multiple different stacks of speed optimization. And, I think kind of looking at it, it's almost like it leaves things a little bit more confusing than when you started, at least in my opinion, because, we see NitroPack gets the page speed scores. Just basic WP Rocket caching and image optimization does pretty damn good and gets the fastest load time, right? So it's like, well, what matters? With most of us out there and myself kind of worrying about what Google thinks of our website, I think it's safe to say that NitroPack is probably the best option. If you're looking for something where you don't have to do a lot of testing, you want something that's going to go fast and work kind of right out of the gate, and if you need support, the NitroPack support is very fast, very responsive, and they do all of the kind of things on their end. So if you install it and you've got issues as I did, they'll kind of go into their back end and fix it. NitroPack is certainly the winning ticket. On the flip side, just optimizing your images, installing WP Rocket, and making sure you're on a fast host is also a formidable option. So, guys, I hope that helps. I hope that helps you guys make the right decision when it comes to, choosing the right speed stack for your WordPress website. If you guys have any questions, look for the No Bullshit Marketing Facebook group. Drop a line in there or drop a comment below this video. I'm signing off on this one.